You're now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. What a day, man. I'm going to let y'all guys know. Shedeur Sanders has the internet blazing. A fifth round pick has people upset. The comment section is going crazy. But look, guys, we tried to tell y'all. We tried to warn y'all. We didn't just jump on this train right now. We've been behind Shedeur Sanders from day one. And we're going to talk about it all here right after this. Man, Shedeur Sanders has exposed the NFL once and for all. Now, there's a lot of people now flipping sides. There are a lot of people now are seeing the things that we've always seen in Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is a legitimate quarterback for the NFL. And we know the story. We know the storyline. We know all the headlines. We all know how he was getting done in training camp. We all know how he was getting done in practice. And the major story coming out of practice was about Shedeur Sanders getting first-team reps. Shedeur Sanders was never getting first-team reps. That was unveiled to us when he was thrown in the game against the Baltimore Ravens in the second half when Dillon Gabriel went out with a concussion. And after the game, Shedeur Sanders said, after his coach opened up Pandora's box and said, this was the first time Shedeur was getting reps with the first team. And then Shedeur Sanders made it abundantly clear this was the first time throwing to guys like Jerry Jeudy, Earl Fannin Jr., David Njoku. He said it. And then that was a big storyline. But see, the crazy thing about it is Shedeur Sanders has exposed all the lies that was told about him in the pre-draft and all the lies leading up to him being the starter of the Cleveland Browns. Now, let's tell you the backstory. Shedeur Sanders, coming out of Colorado, was one of the highest rated quarterbacks in the FBS. There's a lot of tape out on Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders' completion percentage, best in the FBS. Shedeur Sanders' touchdown to interception ratio, best in the FBS. And the crazy thing about it is we see all this tape. And then coming into the pre-draft, you got the media personnel and all these supposed to be gurus that know football talking about what he lacks. He don't have a strong arm. He don't have velocity on the ball. He don't know how to read NFL defenses. The speed is too quick for him. But what has Shedeur Sanders done ever since he's been a starting quarterback? He has debunked all them narratives. And the major thing that came out was about him handling the media in his interview processes, where he didn't know how to interview. He didn't know how to answer questions pertaining to what the media was asking him. But Shedeur Sanders has knocked all this stuff out of the park, and he has exposed every lie that has been told about him in all these narratives. Now he has the internet blazing. For a fifth round pick, everybody is upset because Shedeur Sanders, what we told you guys about Shedeur Sanders, that he was NFL ready. But his head coach, Kevin Stefanski, made it seem to us that he was having trouble learning the playbook. He was having trouble grasping the offense. He was not ready. But somebody that was not getting first team reps and was thrust in the game, that showed you different. That Shedeur Sanders was born ready. And just like his daddy, Deion Sanders primetime said, coaches don't develop quarterbacks. You already have that in you. And Shedeur Sanders has that in him ever since the youth days at the Truth Academy. Ever since he went off to Jackson State. Ever since he's been in Colorado. We seen Shedeur Sanders. We tried to tell you, this ain't our first rodeo. We've been following Shedeur Sanders. And now all the media personnel that said all the negative things about Shedeur Sanders, now they're sitting back eating crow because Shedeur Sanders has proved to them that they didn't know what they was talking about. Because you draft Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, and when Joe Flacco was traded, you made Dylan Gabriel the starter. Kevin Stefanski wasted a whole first half of football, 6 games, on trying to see what Dylan Gabriel could do for this team. If you would have just thrown Shedeur Sanders in there, you might have saved your season, because Shedeur Sanders has that it factor, and Shedeur Sanders moves the needle. But see, I see the comment sections on everything that is surrounded around Shedeur Sanders, and it's like they don't like his bravado. They don't like his swag. They don't like, the Shedeur time. They don't like his confidence. They say his confidence is cocky, but his confidence is mature. He handles every situation gracefully. And I'm going to play something for you guys that Dan Eisen said. And you won't believe what he said, because this is another narrative that was up against Shedeur Sanders pre-draft and into the draft, the interviewing process, and the media availability on how Shedeur Sanders handled himself. But listen to what Dan Eisen said. But before we get off into that, we partnered up with Underdog Fantasy, and this is a word from our sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best way to play fantasy sports. Let me tell you about the easiest way to get in on some WNBA and NBA action. Find your player, pick higher or lower, win you some extra cash. Pick between 2 to 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry. Get every pick right and win some serious cash. Use my promo code SBD23 and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Now that it's football time, follow Simply Ball Dropping as I share my picks. Like I said, pick your player, choose your amount, win money. Make picks, win cash. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for the partnership with us. And thank you for using promo code SBD23 on Underdog Fantasy.
Now let's listen to what Dan Eisen said, and you're going to be surprised on what he said. But before we do that, let me make a correction. Rich Eisen, make a correction. Let's take a listen to what he said.
He's been the starter. He's been put in a position in front of the microphone where he's either asked point blank something to contradict his coach's beliefs in him, or
play
calls, or set up to help him succeed. Every single situation has either been point blank asked of him, or in this situation, the football gods place a legit question in front of him through the media saying, are you upset to be taken off the field? And he answered it, knocked it out of the park. Each time he's knocked out of the park, whether he's turning to somebody saying, oh, you're just trying to start trouble, huh? Or, hey, everybody wants the ball, but we practiced it. He could have easily been, why would you take me out in the same way you did? And it would be just, he's making it about himself. Oh, his dad's making videos of him coming to the game and hugging his son up before the game. It's only about the Sanders. Every single time he has nailed it when put in a position by either the media or the football gods to second guess his coach or the setup around him or whether they want him or not. Well, these numbers certainly support him being the starter the rest of the season. And guess what was announced in the last hour?
Shedeur Sanders, your starter now for the rest of the season?
Yes.
Now, you heard what Rich Eisen had to say. And Rich Eisen basically broke it down to where you can understand it. So the narrative about Shedeur Sanders' media day availability and interviewing process, that is all lies, and it has been exposed. Shedeur Sanders has exposed the critics about his arm talent. We saw the arm talent. He played in inclement weather against the Tennessee Titans. You saw what he did, 364 yards passing. He had 39 yards on the ground. He had 3 TD passes. He had 1 rushing touchdown. A lot of people said about him holding on to the ball long. He took 2 sacks. He did have an interception. But if you look across the board, every major quarterback has thrown interceptions, bad interceptions, but we don't talk about that. Jalen Hurts just threw 4 interceptions last night, guys. He just threw 4 interceptions last night. But for y'all guys to come in the comment sections and some of the stuff that's going on in the media, all this critiquing over a 5th-round quarterback, which y'all said he was a 5th-round quarterback, but he's not showing 5th-round, stuff. He's showing elite 1st and 2nd-round quarterback talent. And everything's been exposed, man. You listen to the media. And the crazy thing about it is people are upset because they say Shedeur Sanders, he's a showboat. He wears his hat backwards. He wears sunglasses on the sidelines the days that he was the emergency quarterback. He wanted to make everything about himself. Rex Ryan coming out here with this gibberish, talking about, you're sitting there, you lose, and you sitting on the bench instead of going over there looking for Lamar Jackson, shaking his hand. But you try to make it all about yourself. And just what Rich Eisen said about how he handles the media and tries to give every correct answer and does it gracefully. But y'all still talking about this 5th-round draft pick. And y'all upset at us because we've been here. We've been here. We ain't never switched sides. We ain't never wavered because we done told you so. We already knew what Shedeur Sanders was capable of doing. Y'all just now figuring that out. So now you're sitting back and everybody's flip-flopping. You see Jason Whitlock is flip-flopping. You're seeing, the people that have said all the negative stuff about Shedeur Sanders. You see what Rex Ryan, he's flip-flopping because Randy Moss got in Rex Ryan's ass on NFL Countdown and he had to let it be known. You got the likes of Dan Orlowski. He's quiet. He don't know what to say. See, Cam Newton has already exposed everybody about Kevin Stefanski on his sabotaging. It ain't about what you say, it's your actions. And see, the actions that showed against Tennessee where Shedeur Sanders was cooking and you take Shedeur Sanders out the game at the end when you had a chance to, send the game into overtime on a potential 2-point conversion, your hot quarterback is on the sideline and you got Quinshon Judkins in there running the Wildcat, which that play was botched from the start and he tried to throw it back across the field to Gabe Larvadan. That's just the stuff that Cam Newton's been telling you guys about because you see it. It's not what you hear, it's the actions. You had a hot quarterback that led your team down twice in 4 minutes and 26 seconds. He led them down the field on a 7-play, 80-yard drive to score the first touchdown, to give them a chance to be in the game where you should kick the field goal instead of trying to go from 2-point conversion because that only puts you down 1 touchdown. And he got that touchdown scrambling, got out of pressure, and he got in the end zone. And then the defense gets a stop. He leads them back down in the 2-minute offense. And then he hits Harold Fannin in the back of the end zone on a pinpoint pass to give him a chance to go for 2. But you take him off the field and he's hot. He's cooking. That's the stuff that Cam Newton is trying to tell y'all. That Kevin Stefanski, not by your words, it's by your actions. So all the stuff that people have been saying about Shedeur Sanders and they mad at us for standing 10 toes down about Shedeur, the same way they be mad at Tony Rizzo, and the same way Rizzo be getting on Tony Grossi for hating. Now Tony Grossi got to try to switch sides and be on this Shedeur train. And Tony Rizzo said, nah, you can't jump on the bandwagon now because we already knew what Shedeur Sanders was capable of doing. Them guys didn't know. That's why they talk about the collusion in the NFL coming into the draft. This wasn't about Shedeur. This was about his daddy Prime Time. That's what it was all about. They tried to silence Prime Time, but it didn't work because like Shedeur Sanders said, perfect timing. And he still got his wrist up. See, Shedeur Sanders has exposed everything about the NFL and all the lies and all the narratives about him. And people are so upset that he has exposed the NFL and all their lies. Now you got people that want to come in and be, just because he throws a pick, start hating on him. Oh, he's a bum and all that. Oh, it was just the Tennessee Titans. This is the worst team in the NFL. They only had 1 win. See, they try to move the goalposts when you put up numbers like that. But if that was anybody else, like a Jackson Dart or any other of these rookie quarterbacks that put them numbers up, a Cam Ward or any other rookie quarterback that's playing, a JJ McCarthy or somebody like that, it'd have been high praise. But as soon as we give Shedeur Sanders high praise for the numbers he put up, everybody tells us we bugging. And that's why Shedeur Sanders has exposed everybody. And that's why the internet is talking. That's why the comment section is going crazy. Because y'all said he was a 5th round pick. We knew that he should have been a 1st round pick. He was number 1 and number 2 quarterback going into the draft. Nobody heard of Dylan Gabriel. That was Kevin Stefanski's guy. But guys, y'all get down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about today's video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And oh yeah, I appreciate everybody that subscribed to the channel. We hit a milestone today. We hit 25,000 subscribers. Appreciate all the love and support. I see everybody in the comment section. Hashtag salute. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.